Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, welcome to that time of the week we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I am your often but never humble host, Eric Sizemore, joined by my beautiful co-host, Brain Damage. Dialing it in from the left coast, and we are going to have some funny memes. But first, a patented, trademark, copyrighted, absolutely essential part of every single episode of Facebook for the Blind. You know it. You love it. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, depression. We are number one. Hey, Ukraine's drone attack on the Russian warplanes was a serious blow to the Kremlin's strategic arsenal. They blew up all kinds of very expensive planes worth something like $7 billion, which I'm sure in Russian money is even more. Do you know what I mean? And it was hilarious. I mean, they were posting like graphics all over the place. Friend of the show, Jackie Kashian, funny comedian, touring with Maria Bamford. If you haven't caught her stuff, you've all caught her stuff. She's wonderful. Anyway, friend of the show, Jackie, she's got this map that they shared showing the location of 5 attacks all across Russia. And the Ukrainians even put out videos like explaining how they did it. They said they coordinated attacks from their office that was 5 feet from the KGB's office. We were right next door. We did it in this truck. See this truck? Remember this truck? Like, just in their face about it, which was awesome. And I thought this is pretty good. Friend of the show, Randy, changed this to his profile picture, and it's just Vladimir. Oh man, what's this guy's name? The Prime Minister Zelensky. Wow, blanked. Should have eaten more. With an ace card, and the ace has a symbol of a drone with a bomb on it hanging from an ace of hearts. It's just ace. And I was like, yes, Zelensky. Wait, I don't normally keep track of this score. I'm not really a sports guy, but well done, sir. Very cool. Hey, in other good news, the American Prospect, which I recommend, has an article about Senate Democrats have been handed a big tool to stop the big, beautiful bill, or the big, beautiful disaster bill, as I like to call it. So the Republicans voted to stop California from setting its own auto emissions. And for those of us that are outside of California, they have set their emissions way higher than anybody else, which has become the de facto standard in the United States because California is the largest car market. So anyway, but the Supreme Court, who's like trying to figure out how to help out big oil every way they can, and the Senate decided to overrule the parliamentarian. Remember back when they had to do everything the parliamentarian was saying? Hey, Democrats, turns out, no, you don't. You can just ignore them. They overruled the parliamentarian and just said that they could go ahead and nullify the EPA's waiver. So anyway, the fun thing about this is they have triggered a whole set of tools that the Democrats have, which basically means, like, hypothetically, any single thing that tries to go through this Congress, anything at all, they can call 10, they can set a clock for, they can basically like stall it and ask questions and open up the Congress floor for like 10 hours of speaking on everything, anything under the sun. All they need is the support of 30 senators. 30. And you know what? Democrats have way more than 30 senators. So they can set up a 10-hour debate on every single thing. Should we have used a comma in this memo? 10 hours. Literally, they could do this. And by brute force, they can just stop the Senate. Anyway, it's also a better situation than the filibuster everything thing. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Here's the deal. The Democrats now have been handed a precedent. They've been handed the tools, and they have the power because they have 30 senators. So place your bets. Will they wield power? Hey, but in other good news, man, United Auto Workers President Sean Fain threw his weight behind New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani. And this guy is not just representative, but he is actually an outspoken democratic socialist. So I'm just absolutely thrilled that one of the world's largest unions on the East Coast has decided to endorse a democratic socialist, and he's a baller, man. He's like, the UAW president was like, "Hey, he's out there on the lines with us. He's picketing with us. He puts his name on stuff. He's out there rallying for us, offering support." So, good on you. I mean, this is really serious progress. I mean, just 5 seconds ago, you couldn't associate with anybody that had the word socialist anywhere near him. And now the UAW has endorsed him, which is pretty freaking cool.
Nice.
In weirdo weathering news, I don't know if you saw, but Mount Etna erupted and sent tourists fleeing. If you haven't seen the video, it's pretty wild. There's a volcano in the background and people running. And so one of the interesting thing about this Sicily's Mount Etna eruption, you see the pictures here. You got the plume of the red hot ash and smoke coming out of the top of a mountain. We've seen that photo, but now in this time, and you got a map, so it's down there it looks like the northeast part of Sicily, the island. But now we actually have drone shots. Look at this. How crazy is this? You can see like red hot pyroclastic boulders shooting out of the top of this thing, smoke. And there's a river of glowing lava running down the mountain. It looks like a highway. I mean, it looks like those things when the orcs are marching and they have torches, you know what I mean, to some fortress. I mean, it's just Mordor, freaking crazy. Of course, the biggest weather event that everybody's talking about is in Switzerland. An entire Swiss village was just wiped out as a glacier collapsed and focused a lot of attention on the risks associated with that. Found out a little bit of trivia here. That would be Pakistan. Pakistan has the most glaciers outside of the Arctic Circle or whatever. So Pakistan is probably the most in danger of a repeat of this. Truly, truly insane. Um, Jeff St. Clair, friend of the show, and man, Jeff, thanks a lot for buying me that beer last time. I mean, I just drank it to be polite. I don't actually drink beer, but it was really nice. You're a sweet guy. He says, "Hey, if you have a social media account, you're probably going to find something on it to deport you. If you don't have a social media account or you keep yours private, then you're automatically considered a suspicious character and will be deported or denied entry. So, welcome to the land of the free." Because little Marco over there at the State Department has decided to scour people's social media. So I'm on a list. I'm going to go in a hole. Whatever. There's no take. Google owns my soul. There's no way. I already know. I'm a professional. You can't scrub this stuff. Hey, but you know what? It is now June, and that's Pride Month. So here's a picture of Niagara Falls lit in rainbow colors, which I just thought was one of the most fun shots that I had seen to come out of this. So happy Pride Month, everybody, from Facebook for the Blind. Friend of the show and sort of the weird uncle, I'd say, Stephen Abram has posted this rant that's a bit too long here. He's like, "We have a president who virtually never thinks rationally, logically, or even in sequential steps. His knowledge of anything is blah 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 blah." Just gonna skim down here. He speaks at the level of a fifth grader at best. He can barely spell and do simple math, and his already limited mental capacity deteriorates with each passing day. And new friend of the show, Tony, says, "I find this very insulting to fifth graders." which, which, by the way, heads up, you know that every accusation is a confession, and that all the people in power can do is project. They are right now really trying to call attention to the biggest scandal in the world. And you know what it is? The cover up of the mental incompetence of Joe Biden. So that means if you do the Uno reverse card, you see. They are terribly worried about the biggest scandal in the world that they're covering up for this twit, basically. Hey, but in good news, I'm telling you, man, I packed it full of good news this week, and I saw this on social media. I think I lost the original post, but it was a very very pretty page on Facebook. But I said I hope this is real, and my librarian friends went ahead and looked up the article for me, and indeed, fenugreek and okra polymers have been used as treatment agents for the removal of microplastics. You know those microplastics that now make up like a portion of everyone's body?
Oh.
because it's like in everything, like surface water, groundwater, like everything. It's in everything. Anyway, they found this goo. There's that goo that like they make glue out of it. What do you call that stuff? Mucilage or whatever, something like that. Anyway, they found this goo and this stuff from I believe it was the okra, maybe it was the fenugreek. It can pull 90% of the microplastics from the water. And it's not toxic like other crap that they use at the water treatment plant. So the science is there. We have this is breaking news. We have just figured out a treatment that can remove 90% of the microplastics from water. Here we go. It was found that fenugreek was most efficient with an 89% microplastic removal from groundwater samples. And a combination of okra and fenugreek was the most efficient for freshwater samples. So there you go. How cool is that? And here I just thought okra was pretty good fried, but not enough to like go out of my way for. So this is the best use of okra I've ever heard of. Very cool.
Nice.
Here's a weird one, just a story, just ever whatever. You know that the vampire in chief, Stephen Miller, if you haven't seen him, he looks like Nosferatu, like pointy ears, bald head, and like I swear to God, one time I saw him partially covering his mouth, and I thought I saw the tail of a live rodent just go right in there. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Stephen Miller, who is a weird puppy, his wife, seen here, Kate Miller, has landed a role with Elon Musk. So Stephen Miller's wife has left the White House with Elon Musk. And it says here in little apostrophe quotes to go to work for Elon Musk full time. And I don't know about you, but I read that kind of dirty. And who knows? Maybe Katie Miller likes to party because insiders have spilled all about Elon Musk's frenzied drug use. We're talking ketamine, we're talking ecstasy, magic mushrooms, and Adderall. He was using a cocktail. And I want to stop at this moment in time to tell all of our listeners he is still not cool. It does not matter. It does not matter. Here's the thing, Elon. You'll never be as cool as Hunter Biden. Just so you know. And anyway, it was one of the craziest things was, man, apparently, he tried to make it out like, I swear to God, I got into it with some right wingers online and they were just like, he had a prescription for ketamine. And I go, oh yeah, do tell me about the prescription for ecstasy and shrooms. I mean, get real. And here's the whole funny thing too. He admits and told people that he had what was that? What was that amazing euphemism people used that he had bladder issues? It was something so subtle, and it was just like he can't pee straight. That's what you're trying
It
to
was
say.
like malfunction or
Yeah, a
something.
malfunction. He had a bladder
Yeah.
malfunction. It's like, so you either can't pee or pee when you don't want to. It's just like, and can you imagine being that rich? You're just so rich, you can just piss yourself in the White House. And that's okay. Here's what I'm thinking too. I'm betting he wears diapers. I bet he got himself some of those astronaut space diapers, pretending he's cool, practicing for Mars. And then there he is with his diaper, and the president's wearing his diaper. I bet you the White House Oval Office was just a diaper toddler tantrum party happening all over the place. That's what I'm thinking. Sticking by it. But anyway, he did so much ketamine he couldn't pee straight, and that's just ludicrous. Which is funny because you remember when he went on Joe Rogan and again tried to smoke weed to be cool, and was the least cool guy. Like honestly, I'm now starting to wonder if like he overacted to throw us off the trail. Like, look at how bad I am at this.
Yeah.
Notice how I'm still not cool. What's the problem? Anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. The whole thing, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking though that Katie Miller probably saw that and was just like, he seems cooler than Steven and doesn't eat rats. Hey, an interesting economic news. Robert Reich tells us that the typical pay package for an S&P 500 CEO rose to $17 million last year, a 9.7% increase. How'd you like to get a 9.7% raise? And at half the companies surveyed, it would take the median worker 192 years to make what the CEO did in 1 year. And this is what I mean when I say the system is rigged. So So anyway, and sticking to the topic of overpaid people, uh, Musk left the Doge thing this week, which is really hilarious because in court they're arguing that he wasn't the head of Doge, but he was, but he wasn't, but he was special guy. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, these guys, I don't know if you guys know the depth of this. I saw this coverage on Rachel Maddow, and believe me, it pains me to admit that I watched it. But 'cause I don't really like Rachel. Anyway, the Washington Post said Doge had played hardball. You might remember the Institute of Peace, beautiful building, and as it turns out, fully independently funded with an endowment and not part of the federal government. But Doge rounded up some boys with guns, went inside, kicked everyone out, deleted the website, trashed the computers, and then left. And it turns out it's not even part of the federal government. I would like you to just contemplate that for a quick moment that they can do this. So a U.S. attorney and the FBI had enlisted the prosecution of the D.C. police, entered the U.S. IP building, and left. Well, when Doge took possession of the building and then they left and finally got back in there, they discovered an office with water damage, rats, and roaches. Because basically they essentially abandoned the place. They didn't secure the building, and there was evidence of rats and roaches. Doge was crawling around inside doing something. And not only did they leave roaches, they left whole sacks. That's right. The cleaning crew found bud. That's these little tweakers are they do drugs, but they're so bad at it, okay? Because, I mean, I am reminded that only users lose drugs, but this is a lot of drugs. And I'm no expert, but it looks like mids. Anyway, so the cleaning crew shared this photo of Doge's legacy at the U.S. Institute of Peace. So just to recap, they got into something they didn't have a right to, trashed it for no reason, did it illegally, were ruled illegally, and left the place crawling with rats, water damage, and drugs for no good reason. Which I think is a pretty good metaphor for Doge and Elon's entire career in DC. And I stole that from Rachel Maddow, and I'm not proud of it, but it was a pretty good metaphor. So after all these drug allegations come out, Elon arrives to have a little goodbye party in the Oval Office with balloons and cake, and I'm sure there was rides. And he shows up with a black eye and a bizarre excuse. Uh, he says, "Oh yeah, I told my 5-year-old punch me in the face," and journalists just ran with that, and I'm just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" You just covered Stephen Miller's wife leaving the White House. Put Stephen Miller and on drugs, Muskrat into a closet. That's how it happened. Maybe Stephen Miller was even being complimentary and just tried to give him that, heroic Roman salute and just slogged him right in the eye. I don't know, something. But I just like to picture, again, a diaper-ridden Tamper toddler party that breaks out into fistfights. In the White House. And why do I like to picture that? Because it gives me joy. That's why. And that really, truly has got to be all the decent national news. I wanted to give a shout out to the amazing Friday night live that's been happening in downtown Champaign. Look at this crowd, man. This is one of 5 venues going on that was walkable in downtown Champaign last Friday. They're doing this every week. We got a new space and arena downtown with lights, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Cool things happening down here. Thought I would share. We always like to end off with an adorable animal story, and for once, I got a good one here. This one's from the Credible Hulk, and I'll just screw it. This is a repost from Jonathan Edward Durham. He says, "Your timeline cleanse for today is the very real existence of the Japanese snow fairy. Please look at this bird. Please look at this beautiful, dumb, ridiculous, perfect bird. Look at it." And I was like, friend of the show, Jonathan Edward Durham, you get me. And that has been the beautiful animal closer to the news for June 3rd, 2025, which means that we are now joined by my beautiful co-host, Quiet Michael, dialing in from North Canada. How's it hanging?
Start the show, Eric.
Right on. Gonna hand it over to you for a nice average round one.
Wrong, Eric. Here comes a big long round one. Kicking it off with Taco Bell. Stepbro.steve, somebody we know, he tweets out these two pictures. Now follow this. It's two pictures of the Taco Bell logo, one on the left, one on the right. On the left, it's just the logo. And it's captioned, just realized the Taco Bell logo spells out Taco Bell. And on the right, he's highlighted where it spells out Taco Bell. And it's right there underneath the bell. It's just written there.
He's just traced.
What?
It's just too. That's people are odd. That's just people are dumb. This is just reaffirming my confirmation bias, right?
Here we have the picture of a thrift store shoe section. And listen, I'm colorblind, and even I can tell you there's a ton of colors in these shoes on these racks. And it's captioned, a pimp retired when the thrift store shoe aisle looks like this. Hey, Eric, will you read this one for me?
I certainly will. This looks to be one of those magic 8 balls, and it says, "Jork your penis." That's so dumb.
Oh, there's a old-timey Western frontier photo of wagons and stuff. And it's, hold on a second. Okay, I got to do another one until my kid leaves the room.
Ah.
This one is a picture of a bunch of kids at school. Some kids in the background are all blurry. And you can only see the kid in the floor who's focused in on it. It says, he. Look at that non-blurry kid over there. LMAO 4K ass bitch. All right, I'm gonna do two more. This one from Yuppie at Yuppie Cuck says, if you were a fish, I would read your sign at the aquarium so you know I care about you. And I would stare at you longer than all the other fish. Last one, Gabe. Gabe says, LMAO has survived and even thrived over the years, but its cousin, ROFL, has faded into indignity. The cruelty of fate. When I read that one, I was like, oh man, Raffle is gone. I haven't seen a Rafflecopter in like 20 years.
Oh man.
I didn't even remember
Eric, Eric, do you even know what I'm talking about?
Not really, no.
It was roll on the floor laughing is what it
Yeah.
stood for, and nobody uses it anymore.
That's true.
Anyway, that's all I got for round one. Kicking it over to Brain.
That's because nobody actually rolls on the floor laughing. Just like they lied to us about rolling on the floor when we get set on fire. That never fucking happens. And
I've
I'm
never seen
disappointed about
anybody
it.
laugh their ass off either, though.
I've never seen anybody
Well, you
slip up.
haven't seen my ass in 2020 compared to 2025, then have you? All right, do you guys see this?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna start this round with my lovely wife. She posted some just sarcasm that says my save for later cart on Amazon is up to about $1.5 million by now, and I'm getting none of it.
Mhm.
The Ultimate 80s page says I'm pretty upset how fast my life went from MySpace to my chart.
Oh.
That fucking sucks. That
Ouch.
fucking sucks. I posted this one 5 years ago, and it says aliens watching Earth like this season fire, and we just have a gray alien laying down on his couch, has a blunt in his mouth, and yes, you see that was 5 years ago, June 1st, 2021. That alien was locked in his home. Fuck the pandemic. Here we have another one that I posted a long time ago, and it's just a cartoon before AI of a Charlie Brown, but it's Sean Price with a spike bat, and I just loved it so much I had to share it.
Nice.
So we'll move on.
It's good looking. I like it.
And here we have the Dad Talk Today has a picture of Smeagol Gollum.
Right.
And he is shouting into a microphone very loud, and it says, "Let the hobbits hit the floor. Let the hobbits hit the floor. Let the hobbits hit the floor." Okay, let's move on. We have the cult of whimsical, cynical something or other, and they have a photo of a duck, a real life duck, and it says, "I'm here to eat grapes and kick ass.
Ah.
The lemonade stand is fresh out of grapes. Hey, got any grapes? I too shall stare at the fish and let them know that they matter, Michael, because Pixar Never Happened has a picture of what looks to be, I don't know. I feel like there are the laundromat reflections in this window or something. I don't know how, but it's a fish and chips place called Frying Nemo. That's Frying Nemo. Yeah, my daughter's favorite movie was Finding Nemo when she was a little kid, and one of my best friends just used to torture her and be like, "Fish are food, not friends," and she'd be like, "No, fish are food, friends, not food." It was fun times.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what did I do? I fucked up. All right, are we back?
Yep.
Here we have a picture of a jet plane flying over Antarctica in a gigantic crack. And it says massive crack in Antarctica ice shelf grows 11 miles in only 6 days. And Hunter at Y2K Hunter puts that damn squirrel. Yes, we did just go straight from Finding Nemo to Ice Age. We're going to move on, though. Kelly Zemeninskis, friend of the show, puts good morning.
Hey, Kelly.
A
Hey.
90s giggle for your morning. And here we have, it says, job interviewer. If there was a problem, how would you solve it? It says me nervously. Check out the hook and let the DJ remove it. Here we have
I like it.
World of Retro Pop Culture, and we have some young girl that's at a store, lots of Doritos behind her, and she has her eyebrows sharpied in or something, and they are just way overboard over her where her eyebrow print should be, and it is just way over like an anime type of style over her glasses. But they write, I've definitely bowled against her on the Wii. And yes, I have. Kinky Chicks puts so hard, and it says, I want to be cuddled, but I also want to be left alone. Being crazy is hard. And then the last one for me, also finishing and starting with my lovely wife, Diane, and just sarcasm tag team says, being a woman is hard. You always want to buy something, slap someone, lose weight, and eat something sweet. And yeah, again, this one was said being crazy is hard, and this one also said being crazy is hard. All right, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just kidding. Passing it off to you, Eric.
I see it. All right, doing our ostensibly wholesome round one with actual wholesomeness. Look at this. This date in history. Elgin Staples, serving as a signalman third class in USS Astoria in the Pacific, carried the weight of war after Pearl Harbor. His mother, Vera, poured her heart into letters on the job from her Firestone plant in Akron, Ohio. Blah, 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 blah. He went down in his ship and thought that he was down, but he survived by a miracle. A rubber life belt secured around his waist held him above the raging seas for 12 hours. Back home, he presented the worn belt to his mom, and he said, this belt kept me alive. And she said, my God, her fingers brushing the inspection number on the belt, tears streaming down her face. Son, that's my inspection number. I inspected this belt. I love stuff like that. Some of my favorites. Super wholesome. Here we have a picture. Now, this is interesting. You got to know some of these characters. First off, you got Michael J. Flynn Jr. Michael Flynn Jr. He's a jackass. If I remember correctly, this is the disgraced general, right-wing lunatic. Anyway, he has posted a picture of Nick Offerman from his character as Ron Swanson in Community, throwing out, it looks like the rainbow flag, into a dumpster. It's been photoshopped. It's not a real thing anyway. So. And Michael Flynn Jr. says, "Good morning and happy Sunday. No quotes today. Just wanted to post how I feel about, quote, Pride Month." So Nick is throwing out the rainbow flag. So the real Nick Offerman and hero from Champaign said, "Ron was the best man at a gay wedding, you dumb fuck." and, and many of us rejoiced that it was just, you fucking idiots. They can't meme at all. The best and worst of Twitter too. And if you're not following the best and worst of Twitter too, you are missing out on a lot of good Twitter. Poster John Rock has reposted Roscoe the Cap King at Roscoe Jones, who says, "For Pride Month, you can't say, 'Let me get this straight.' You have to say, 'Just so we're queer.'" All right, so everyone write that in your notes. Good friend of mine, Tom Schneer, just posted a picture of himself, avatar sniffing a rose and just calmly laying in the grass. And he says, "My reply to Joni Ernst, you first, dear." So, yeah, anyway, Joni was quite famous this week for saying, "We all die." And he was like, "Yes, please, go." God, terrible. I don't know if you caught her unapology, but she basically said, "I'm sorry that people didn't know they die." You know what I mean? And it's like, "I'm so glad I didn't bring up the tooth fairy." She has to talk to people like their children. Then she says, "But if you want to know about eternal life, you should look into my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ." And I was like, "You just put the tooth fairy and Jesus Christ in the same spot? And you want me to take you seriously?" Um, I don't even, things are so stupid. Anyway, it was a fake apology. You know what I mean? And yeah, Stephen Colbert was just like, Jesus, of course, with his famous contempt, for the poor and the sick and the dying. Anyway, very confusing, horrible heretics. Hey, I'm gonna do some more wholesome stuff here. My friend Alexandra passed along this captioned "emotional support Mima." And it says, "Quotes from the 73-year-old woman who sits in the back of my ethics class and knits during lectures. Sweetheart, if they text you after 11 p.m., it's not ethics, it's hormones. And I didn't come here to get a degree. I came here to see what the youth are stressed about and bring snacks accordingly." And he ghosted you? Oh, honey, block him and light a candle for yourself. And I once survived a cheating husband, a power outage, and disco. You can survive this exam. It says, "You don't need closure. You need carbs and a nap." And I was so hoping TD would be here because, yeah, you don't need closure. 9 times out of 10, you just need carbs and a nap. And I'll just go finally here. "I've been knitting a scarf while you unravel emotionally." Poetic, isn't it? And he's cute. He's cute, but does he ask follow-up questions? No, then he's decorative. I just thought it was great. Emotional support, me, Mom. And highly recommended it. Friend of the show, Kate, has gotten a delightful gift from her work wife who gives the best presents. It's a candle. It's Mom's last fuck. It says, "Oh, look, it's on fire." So I was like, we should have done that as a sponsor. Brought to you by Mom's Last Fuck. Oh, look, it's on fire. Get yours now. Friend of the show and founding Zaddy wife, Chels Bells, has relayed this.
No, thought you were going to sneak that
TikTok.
one in, but no, we're not doing that.
Chels Bells has said to join me on TikTok. And as an old person, let me tell you what, Chels, I thought that was vaguely threatening and it made me anxious. But I did attempt for at least 6 minutes to follow you on TikTok. Anyway, she has posted in the ongoing orca versus human war this story. She says, spectators at SeaWorld in San Antonio, Texas, got a gross surprise after an orca defecated in the pool during a performance, then splashed the audience with the dirty water. Shells is like, "Gotta watch these orcas, man. Their tactics are evolving." And that's not a full-on yacht sinking, but points orcas. We'll have to do a tally next week, but well done, orcas. All right, and finally for the round one Got a post here from the Neurodivergent Rebel. And if you're not following the Neurodivergent Rebel, I mean, are you really rebelling as much as you neurodivergently could? I don't know if you could. She's got a post, or they've got a post from U.S. Federal Department of Propaganda. We have here a picture of a box of donuts brought into the workroom, placed in the break room, and it says a sign says, "These sweet treats are for everybody except Camille and her Chick-fil-A eating self. Love, Kenyatta. Happy Pride Month." Donuts. Well played, Kenyatta. I like the cut of your jib. And that is the end of my ostensibly round one, or first round, as they call it in France. Handing it back to you, Quiet Michael.
Here we go. All right. Kicking off round two, the ostensibly second round. Says, why are vampires always wealthy in movies? And there's a picture of the vampires from the one vampire movie where they sparkle.
Oh, yeah, the sparkles.
Says, why are vampires always wealthy in movies? Like, how do they make a living, LMAO? Chele, please, says, if you've been alive since 1892 and still broke, just step into the sun.
Well played. Well played.
Puppyona says, born to be a hater, but forced to understand where you're coming from.
Ah!
All right, while I have a minute here, Shithead Steve is this picture of wagons, and it says, "Did you know before the invention of the train, people had to run wagon on your mom?"
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Livy says, "The rage I feel when people are in the kitchen at the same time as me is not normal." And finally, for round two, the ostensibly second round, the Hard Times News says they report suicides among ICE agents reach alarmingly low levels. And that's all I've got for round two. Kicking it over to Brain Damage.
Wait, I missed it. What reaches low levels?
Suicide rates amongst ICE agents reach alarmingly low levels.
Ah! Okay, sorry. I apologize. I'll never make you do that again. Oh, you're muted. You're still muted. I'll unmute you. Oh, can I unmute you?
All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Let's try this again. Try it again. Try it again.
Very nice.
I hate that it makes you do so many steps. I don't know how this Zoom update got stupider, but I guess that's the world we live in these days.
The world of enshittification.
Yeah, how everything goes smart, but it goes dumb.
Yes.
Anyways, we've got a 3-panel cartoon here, and we have the police officer in blue telling the chief, who's pink with a brown hat, at the crime scene, "Hey, chief, you're gonna want to see this." And in the second panel, we see that he shows him a frog in a car, and then the chief says, "You're right, this fucking rules." And frog goes beep beep, and that is our friends from at Mr. Lovestein. And then we got the darker side of science. That here we have Schrodinger's online today, and we're sending message. We're gonna find out some messages. Who's he messaging and what's he up to? End-to-end encryption though. And someone says, "Is the cat alive?" And Schrodinger says, "No, but it is all a bunch of yeses. Yes, 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 yes. But it is also no." And fuck that Schrodinger cat thing. Anyways, I hate that damn thing. I wish TD was here, but Michael's here, and that's good enough for me. Legends of Wrestling says, check out our Truth's OnlyFans page. And if you didn't know, the WWE released fan favorite Ronda Truth killings this week. And all of a sudden, 26 minutes ago, he started an OnlyFans. He says, "Welcome to my new Twitter page, blog dog. I may not only allow fans, but I'm considered haters too. Mark Henry, Beat Picks in 30 Days, and maybe Big Jimmy." And we'll just move along to the Cool Beans. And we have Cookie Monster, who has a giant red F, and it says, F is for fuck this shit.
Nice.
Here we've got the red squirrel. Yeah, one of my new favorites. The red squirrel has a picture of what looks to be a photoshopped Samuel L. Jackson in a Prince picture
Ooh.
with Purple Rain, and it says, "This is what it sounds like when motherfucking doves cry."
I got that reference.
Here we go again, wishing that TD was here, but somebody named Ben Sullivan, maybe Sullivan. Oh yeah, right there, Bam Sullivan. Read
Bam
the
Sullivan.
script, Brain. Read the fucking script, and not the goddamn calligraphy. Anyways, he's got a cool cartoon avatar, makes him look cool. And he says, "Hear me out. A gender reveal party, but it's Tajiri, and he spits colored-coated poison mist in your girl's face." And we have Tajiri spitting the green mist on. I don't know. Is that Jerry Lynn? I don't know. That's definitely some old school ECW shit. But yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it. And you didn't know, Eric, you didn't know episode 209 was for the area code 209 for Stockton, California, where we get the Diaz brothers. And here we have Nick Diaz leaning over the fence, coaching his brother, young Nate Diaz, in the octagon. And he is saying, slap him. And then smile and say, Stockton, motherfucker. And then we have Nick Diaz laying in the octagon at UFC 183, where I was in attendance, actually. And he was fighting Anderson Silva, and he decided to lay the fuck on the floor. And it says, you may be high, but you will never be Nick Diaz laying down in the octagon in front of Anderson Silva high. And that dude really does get high. He's the only guy that won a fight in Pride and then got it taken away from him by the commission because he was too fucking high on weed.
Really?
And then he went to Congress. He was a big spokesman in helping weed get legalized in MMA, but it didn't happen in his time. He just put down the groundwork. Anyways, we're going to move on with Grayson Magana. I got it right this time.
Nice.
And he says, imagine the things Wile E. Coyote could have done if he'd had access to Amazon Prime. And right after that, we have crazy that kids today have Bluey, while we grew up with a cartoon rabbit that relied on wit and costumes to avoid being murdered for sport.
Yeah. I did like
Good
that.
thing. Good
Always
thing
like
Wile
that.
E. Coyote didn't have Amazon Prime, didn't he? And I think this was the last one for me for this round is Casual Posting puts Baby Roach. What happens if they use red? Papa Roach. Suffocation. No breathing. Okay. All right. We're going to stop sharing. Handing it off to you, Eric.
Awesome. I am so excited. New friends, new memes, and we're doing the ostensibly second round. New acquaintance of the show. Seriously, I don't know anything about him yet, but Dolly Farton said, here's a good way to let down someone whose clip that you reject. So I assume she's a comedy booker. Says, I can see why you do comedy, but not why you should do comedy. And I was just like, I would love to, man, I would like to say that to some people. I get it. No. You had trauma. Friend of the show and one of the founding audience members, Craig Smith, a good friend there, bud, says, why do people keep naming their daughters Mackenzie or Michaela and McKenna, even though Mick means son, and it means son of Kenzie, son of Kayla, son of Kenna. And Mac and Cheese 2024 says, buy me 2 sausage and egg cheese son of a muffins and I'll tell you. And he says, where at, son of Donald's? And it's, oh, you're a clever Macabitch. Anyway, I thought it was a fascinating little exchange. New friend of the acquaintance of the show, Small Plate Sig, and Kat Abazala. has got this interesting thing. This comic just was describing an email text that went out to the kids here. Essentially, it says, "Hi, Steve. It's the DNC. We are creating a new Joe Rogan clone. With your help, we will finance focus groups, polling, microphones, and laboratory fees necessary to have a new left-leaning podcaster in about 20 years. Can I count on you for $500?" Because the DNC literally said they wanted to do this, and I'm just like, I am in the stupidest timeline. Anyway, but people saw it. Friend of the show, Ariel Julie, up in Chicago, just got this beautiful pink and purple gradient with the words mid-30s, colon. I want to own property and a company and be an industry leader and also have as little responsibility as possible. Friend of the show, Mark Anthony says, real estate license, natural path. So there's your guidance, Ariel. I was following friend of the show, Wild Green Memes for Ecological Fiends. And if you're not following Wild Green Memes for Ecological Fiends, you are missing out on some ecological fiend memes like this one from Claudia Pirelli Henschel. It says, these animals are not looking at you. And we have a squirrel staring at you head on. We got a cardinal staring at you, beak forward, head on, and a horse staring at you head on. He says, these animals are looking at you. And we see a squirrel giving you the side eye, and cardinal giving you a side eye, and a horse giving you a side eye. It's like, oh yeah. And then we have a close-up of like some crabs and insects, and it says, these dudes are looking at you in ways you can't possibly imagine. And, they're just all multicolored swirls and teal green eyes in the middle of pink fuzz. And this thing somehow looks like eyes and a butterfly at the same time on some creature. I can't even picture it. I don't know, a sea bug of some kind. I have no clue. Anyway, these dudes are not looking at you. These animals are looking at you, and these looking at you in ways you can't possibly imagine. Best and worst of Twitter 2 brings us this post from Rogert. I am Rogert. In college, I took my geology final on LSD and scored the highest grade in 3 years. I identified the rocks by licking them. I just love the purity of this post. JD Grieving, friend of the show, comedian over here, he says, please cite your source or shut the ever-living fuck up. And I just, it hit me so deeply. Cite your source. Post your YouTube link. You know you want to. This was actually my post with the most, but it's a little long, but I do want to just point this up. Friend of the show, I guess, Agent Self of the FBI. Oh, can I be friends with a cop? I don't know. I have to think. Acquaintance in, probation says, to everyone cheering on Trump for ignoring court rulings, imagine a future left-wing president declares a national emergency on gun violence, bans AR-15s, signs an executive order instructing the ATF to confiscate semi-automatic rifles from gun stores. Federal court blocks it, citing the Second Amendment, but the president just shrugs, calls the judges activists, and ignores the rulings. Just seizes all the guns. Would you still be okay with that? Or would you suddenly rediscover your love for the rule of law? It isn't about immigration or Trump. It's whether the rule of law means anything to you. And if you only respect the Constitution when it serves your politics, and you just don't get to scream tyranny over COVID lockdowns and then celebrate when your guy blows off court orders. It's not patriotism. That's authoritarianism. And this one, racked up a couple thousand views. And I was like, wow, my people are angry. My people are angry and think deep thoughts. And I was like pretty proud of that. Also, this was mine that I wrote myself that got a ton, almost the most. It says, one thing that I agree with conservatives about is that society is fragile, except I don't think it's going to be unisex bathrooms that are going to cause the collapse of Western civilization. I think it'll probably be like laws. I'm just guessing. And finally, this was actually my second to the most post. Just a picture of Martin Luther King. It says, we need leaders not in love with money, but in love with justice. Not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. And one of my little Trump Nazis posted on there, we have one, and I lost it. Not in love with money?
Just ask him. Literally ask him.
That's his whole brand. I was like, you've gotten so diluted, you don't even need, you don't need it. Whatever I say is the opposite. Whatever the black guy did, you're the opposite. Do you know what I mean? Just unbelievable. But anyway, it cracked me up. It was a real thing. I follow Trumpers. Actually, I don't follow this guy. I don't even know this guy, but I thought that was interesting. Handing it back to you, Michael, for a penultimate round, I believe is the word that we call this one.
Yeah, it's penultimate, man. It's second to ultimate.
Yeah.
Wendy's, friend of the show.
Hey.
She retweeted Wendy from the Wendy's. You all know it. Square hamburgers.
Oh yeah, man. Had it
She
just the other
posts a
night.
picture. She posts a picture of the McDonald's arches in flames, and she says, "Pookie looking absolutely fire." The Duffel blog is reporting that a Neuralink placed in a Marine crashes Pornhub. The Marine is quoted as saying, "I saw it all of Pornhub at once." I was like the god of porn for a minute.
Oh God.
That shit would change you, man.
That would. You'd be
Ben Anderson, he says, my dad used to work with Ted Bundy at the University of Utah, and every Friday my dad would say, "See you Monday, see you Monday, Bundy."
Oh God.
And I can't imagine how much Ted actually thought about murdering him for it. Hey, I have a little special treat for you guys. This is the best. This was voted the best gorilla joke of 1897. Okay? You
Okay.
guys ready for this? What I'm about to read, the best gorilla joke of 1897. Gorilla. Did you hear about the gorilla who escaped from the zoo? Zookeeper. No, I did not. Gorilla. That is because I am a quiet gorilla. Muffled sounds of gorilla violence. Angel number 27 says the people in 1897 were mentally in 2030. Muffled sounds of gorilla violence. Okay, this is fucking beautiful. This guy tweets out, "Can't believe I got to meet the great Hulk Hogan. Thanks again, Hulk." And there's a picture of him with a guy with a handlebar mustache and bandana, but this is clearly not Hulk Hogan.
No.
But he tags Hulk Hogan in it. Can't believe I got to meet the great Hulk Hogan, and tags Hulk Hogan. Thanks again, Hulk. Hulk Hogan, verified, responds, "Let me tell you something, brother." This is Step Bro Steve again. He says, IT technicians, when they finally show up to fix what you broke. And it's that guy. I don't know this guy's name from The Simpsons.
No, that's Futurama. But I don't know his name.
Whatever.
It's the blonde guy.
The blonde guy says, "I got your." He says, "I got your distress call, and I came as quickly as I wanted to." Agatha Christie at Pagan Poetry.
Oh my, that's good.
Says he's probably eaten more hot dogs than all of the previous 266 popes combined.
Oh man.
He is from Chicago. Oh man. This is wild. The Guardian reports chess robot grabs and breaks finger of 7-year-old opponent.
Oh jeez.
And friend of the show at Shell Cyst says, incredible how an AI can just come up with chess strategies that I thought of years ago. All right, I got two more for this round. Moist Buddha, friend of the show, Moist Buddha, and Shithead Steve. So this is a collab, okay? It's a picture of a girl on FaceTime or something, and it says, quote unquote, "You're so funny. Thanks. I used to get pulled out of class to go color with a random lady."
Oh
And my
God,
last
I'm
theme
scared.
for round 3, the penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most, comes from horse dentist at equine__dentist. He says, I found the opposite of a sugar daddy. And then we see a very close up picture of a medical chart, and it says, patient has an insulin pimp.
Oh. Oh my.
And that's all I got for round 3. The penultimate round, leaving only my post with the most. Back to you, Brain.
Hey, I gotta commend it to you, Michael. 2 out of 3 rounds, you had pimp jokes. Fuck it.
Hey.
Oh man, I hope my I
That's
don't think my
almost.
post with the most is going to come through. Actually,
Oh my God. That's
Right.
we almost have a theme.
See
Just
if I
letting
can
you
pin-
know, Eric, here's your answer to if you could be friends with a cop. Riley, my homie, posts a picture of, I don't know what the fuck this is, but there's some cool graffiti on something in the background. And it says,
Mm.
the only thin blue lines I support are the veins and big ass titties. Thank you for your service.
Damn. Damn. Damn.
Speaking of cops, we got the gaming dungeon, and there's a cop. He's hamming up Mario.
Oh.
Mario says, I was at a different Diddy party. And you see behind him is Diddy Kong looking
Oh.
looking like, oh no, maybe I don't know, Mario. Maybe you still shouldn't be at Donkey Kong's son's party, huh? Where the fuck is Donkey Kong, huh? Did you bring a case of beer? Shit is still suspect, sir. I don't know.
Sus.
I swear I remembered who posted this, and then I didn't remember anyway. So we're not gonna give you credit. We're just gonna read it along. Read it along. He says, when I was young, I was scared of the dark. Now, when I see my electric bill, I am scared of the lights.
Truth.
We hate life. Sarcasm League says, I tapped my Uber driver on the shoulder. The driver shitted himself, swerves, nearly hits a bus and stops inches from a shop window. Fuck me, you're jumpy, aren't you? Sorry, says the driver. It's my first day. Been driving a fucking hearse for the last 20 years. And then we got I don't know how to say this. La Vie en Rose.
La Vie en Rose.
La Vie en Rose. All right. They have some old school picture, 2 kids with a balloon, and it says, balloons are so weird. Happy birthday! Here's a plastic sack of my breath. This one's a 2-panel from somebody named Lucas Alifano. And first we see, this is Genghis Khan. I see his spear. And then in the second picture, oh no, his spear's gone. It says, now I don't. Probably because he got wild and threw it. But I can't be sure. Don't mind me. It's just another one of my wild Khan's spears I see theories.
Dude,
Ha,
That
ha,
was
ha.
so much.
I'm taking
Speaking
points
of
off.
Khan's spear I see theories. We've got Wes Baker, who writes, this Mandela effect is crazy. I could have swore I had more hoes than this.
No. That's good. That's
man.
good stuff.
Junior at Junior DRD writes, Jurassic Park sequel ID. Idea, 3 million AD. The humans are extinct. The dino scientists find mosquitoes with human blood. Guess who they clone? Jeff fucking Goldblum. They mix up the mosquito DNA with Goldblum's. Surprise, assholes. Now this is the sequel to Fly.
I like it. I can see it.
Right.
That was a good journey.
Gothic again Enchanted writes, be comfortable in your own skin because it is illegal to wear someone else's.
Right.
And this one's gonna do it for me on this round. We have cop, turn around, me. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. Cop, turn around, me. Every now and gets tape. Handing it off to you, Eric.
Total eclipse of the taser. Nice. All right. The penultimate round, kicking it off with I just realized I'm doing a Another one from John Rock in the best and worst of Twitter too. If you're not following John Rock in the best and worst of Twitter too, you're missing out. This is a post from Hal that says, hearing that AI models are collapsing because AI bros poisoned their own well by flooding the internet with loads and loads of AI slop that's being fed back into the training data with no way to sift it out. It fills me with such schadenfreude. And it's true. It's like they're like AI is coming along so fast. I was like, yes, its enshittification process is at an all-time high. We've never seen any product become so crappy even before it's really born. Like, wow, look, it's getting worse already. The internet's Todd Holloman posts this picture of Andrew Tate. It says Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have been charged with rape and human trafficking in the UK, and sad incels are telling Andrew to keep his chin up. And I'm like, bro, seriously, his what? There's just a picture of Andrew Tate, and he noticeably has no chin. He's a very unchinly man. I had never noticed it. Got a head closer to like a thumb. Like if you felt your thumb, like a face, like a thumbnail, and like just flat, no chin. Anyway, moving on. Friend of the show, Clarence Patton, has passed along this post from Pat Dennis. It says, sick of people calling everything in crypto a Ponzi scheme. Some crypto projects are pump and dump schemes, while others are pyramid schemes. Others are just standard issue fraud. Others are just middlemen skimming off the top. Stop glossing over the diversity in the industry. Let me tell you what, man. Some of my crypto bros like reacted to this, and it made them laugh. They're like, "Okay, that's funny." Simon King, friend of the show, Canadian comedian Simon King. And if you're not following Simon, you are seriously missing out. He's got a conversation between me and OCD. OCD says, "Good morning. Your liver is failing. You have diabetes. You're riddled with cancer. You have pains you can't explain but I can because your gallbladder is failing. You have for sure got AIDS and your kidneys are going to fall out. Me, I feel fine though. OCD, trust me, you are not fine. Me, should I go to a doctor? OCD, no, the doctor might tell you I'm right. Me, what do I do then? OCD, suicide? I mean, better yet, you could just feel like shit and be afraid your whole life. Me, okay, thanks, I guess." And it led to a very interesting conversation about mental health. Comedians are fun for that stuff. FB for TB, a weekly memecast. And if you're not following FB for TB, a weekly memecast, you are missing out on the content over there on the Spacebooks. Got a post here from Brendan Furr at Life's Not Fur. Says, I admit I do enjoy seeing even the most cornflake vanilla Starbucks white girl I know from high school suddenly being like, OMG, fuck the cops. Like, do you realize how badly you have to fuck up to get Molly the horse girl Googling Molotov cocktails? Anyway, again, John Rock, best and worst of Twitter too, making like I've lost track, 5th appearance in the show. Man, I was minding this guy. Devine Kerr has posted this caption, seriously, dude, talk about mental gymnastics, because over there on the Reddits, in R Gen Z, a gentleman posted this rant. It's tagged rant, captioned, "They aborted my girlfriend," which is a sentence that doesn't make sense. He says, "I can't stop thinking about that the woman who would have fallen in love with me was aborted in this timeline, and that's why I'm alone. In another alternate timeline, her mother didn't abort her, and she grew up to fall in love with me. I must be very happy there, but here I am a failure. Without a doubt, my aborted girlfriend would have loved me, and I wouldn't be sad." I was like, holy shit. I mean, we've all heard of the made-up girlfriend in Canada, but the made-up girlfriend in another timeline. Like, wow. And friend of the show, Amanda Cohen, says, wait for his new hit single, "My Aborted Girlfriend." He goes, that would be punk as shit.
Emo. That's emo. Sorry.
That's what people like Amanda call emo. This one here from a new acquaintance of the show, Wes Bennett, has his avatar laying in the grass with a rose, and it says, "We heard for over 2 years, we can't breathe with masks on, and now ICE agents can't seem to function without them."
No shit.
That's an amazing flip around there. And finally, leaving all but my post with the most. Best and worst of Twitter, too. John Rock making like the 99th appearance in this show. Obviously, the winner. As a post from Cool Negro, trademark, at Joey X Ross. Says, quote, new dude at work tells me he had to stop doing coke because coke turns him gay. And by that, he means that every time he did coke, he would hook up with dudes. And I don't know how to break it to him nicely. Happy Pride Month. Leaving all but my post with the most. That has wrapped up my penultimate round. What you got there to close us out, Michael?
This week, my post with the most, also pride themed, comes to us from Trash Can Paul. It's a
Paul.
picture of a man from the 1970s. I'm pretty certain of that.
Oh, yeah.
And he's smoking a cigarette, and it says, arachnophobia is so stupid. Just let the spiders get married.
Nice.
What do you have this week, Brain?
All right. Let's see what we got. I have the salty lunch lady, and it says, I'm not allowed to help my kid in history class after I told him the answer to how did Paul Revere complete his midnight run? Yeah, it was, he did it like this, he did it like that, he did it with a wiffle ball bat.
So I'm on the run.
I love it. Oh, excellent. All right, and closing things out, my post with the most.
I had that so queued up.
From at D La She Art. And if you're not following at D La She Art, whose name goes by I appreciate you, you're missing out. Says, I honestly hate that we've normalized the idea that all opinions are valid. I think we should get back to telling people that they are ill-informed and ignorant.
I never stopped.
I know, but it's like a lot of people felt seen. This is definitely the darkest of the dumb timelines, and we are covering it every week with fresh memes. I believe that wraps up an entire episode. So all 10,000 of you out there, listeners and watchers, most of whom we do not know, we love you. Mwah.
Love you, George.
Yeah.
Love you, Beverly.
What's up, Beverly?
Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.